Poquito, Poquito, Poquito podcast. Poquito, Poquito, Poquito podcast. Poquito, Poquito, Poquito.
Hello, and welcome back to Un Poquito.
I'm Dominic Angel. This is Ryan. We got Ricky here. We're joined today by the hilarious Silvia De Anda.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. Silvia is so funny. We've been seeing her around all over LA, playing a lot of idiot shows. She just had her Chatterbox debut.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
Great set.
Thank you. I really enjoyed myself.
You did a bit that I do whenever I go to shows, and nobody ever commits to the bit. Which is like, so when you do comedy shows, a lot of times the host will come up to you and ask you like, what are your credits? Do you want me to say anything about you? Do you want to plug anything when you're going to go up? And my bit that I do is I always go like, because people will be like, Comedy Central, Netflix, Just for Laughs, whatever. Like, it's not a bit, just say very funny. So my bit is I don't have any fucking credits. I have this podcast, which thank you all for being here. Love doing the show. But I'm always like, I don't have any credits. So I just go like, just say we're best friends. And then I walk away. And every time they bring me up, they go, he told me to tell you we're best friends. And I'm like, what do you commit to the bit?
Just say
Just say we're best friends. Yeah. And then so I go up to Silvia and I say, hey, is there anything you want us to say? Do you want to plug anything? And she goes, just call me a dumb bitch. And I was like, it's game time.
He's like, I've been waiting for permission.
You're in luck because I was waiting to say this about you.
Just had a feeling.
And a lot of people won't. They won't say it, or if not, they'll be like, I don't know, because it can, it can make it seem like I have some. I'm like, just fucking. What? Why are we here?
Right.
Just fucking do it.
It was so fun. And it was like me and Ricky were like drawing straws mentally. Like I told Ricky, and because the thing is that Ricky is usually the one usually the person that brings up the guest at the first comic, and he did not go for it this time. I was like, should I? Oh, it was so funny. But Ricky did give me a line just to save it a little bit. Was that because I was like, I'm not going to say she told me to say this. That's not funny, or not say it. So I had to do it. But Ricky told me to say notoriously.
Notoriously a dumb bitch.
And the thing is like, one, we had a killer hosting set. It was like it was a great way to start the show. The fucking crowd was going wild. There was literally people making out right before the show started. Yeah. If it was, honestly, they saved the show because Ricky and I were super nervous going up. Yeah. And if they weren't making out, I don't know how that show would have gone.
But it was a great show.
Yeah.
You must have done well because they stopped making out during your set.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But yeah, it was so funny. Go up, introduce Silvia. Super funny, performing all over town. Notoriously a dumb bitch. Mm-hmm. Please
that
make it loud for Silvia De Anda. And she goes, I was just like, I don't know why they said that.
So that's why I don't want to say it.
She was like, it's my first time here. Oh, so funny. But thanks for being here. I was really excited. We had to have you on.
Thank you.
And see, I think I first saw you, I don't know if it was at Accidental Chaos or if it was in Long Beach. I think it might have been at Kesara. Are you, where are you? How? Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
No, not like that. How long have you been doing comedy?
I kind of started in 2019, but I would only go like on Fridays to the Hollywood Improv.
Okay.
And I really only got to go up like 6 times. I'd go every Friday for like 7 or 8 months straight.
Wow.
But it's buckets, and then they have like the people that work there. So it was kind of hard to get to go up. But the very first day that I went, I didn't think I was going to get to go up, and I'd never gone to a mic before. And I was like the third one up, and I was like, oh fuck. Like I didn't expect it. But yeah, I did that for a bit, and then I did an internship with Sammy Obeid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kind of helped him with a few things for a while. I did that during the pandemic, and then he let me host a few of his Zoom shows.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then of course like COVID happened, and I just like worked on material and stuff. And Becca Ward got me into a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, like
she's
I met
a wild
Adam
one.
Chong. Yeah. She's
The first time I met Becca, it was at Sunset Lounge, and she like walked to the back where all the outside patio where everybody hangs out, and she just like said what's up to everybody, and then pulled a vape out of her pocket, put it in her mouth, and just started like hitting it hands free and like spinning in a circle. And I was like, she's fun.
Yeah.
She came up to me randomly and apologized for all white people.
Yeah. Which more people should do.
You're like, yeah, you set that standard.
She's very funny though.
She is. Yeah. They're very nice. I dog sat their dogs.
Nice.
For a week, and they were very nice dogs, but they had a certain schedule. And the first day that I was there, she's like, they're super chill as long as you get them out. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I brought my little wiener dog too, and he was like terrified of them. But the first day I went to their room, they were in their crates, and they had shit all over their crates. And these are big dogs. They're puppies, but they're huge. And I was like, oh my God, I have to clean all this shit right now. And I was like, I had shit up to my nose because I had to get into this crate and like wipe it all down. She hit me up like later in the afternoon. She's like, how's it going? I'm like, it's all good. Everything's good. There's nothing wrong. I'm having a great time.
Crying from the shower.
Did you check for cameras? Because I'm like, did they plan this shit? They fucking left that ready for you to go.
I didn't, but they had a sign on their door that said, don't come into this room. And I was terrified that there were cameras. So I'd always just look at the door and I'd be like, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it.
It's just Morgan Freeman behind like all these TV screens.
That'd be kind of
I've been expecting you.
Wait, real quick. They had a room that you weren't allowed to go in?
Yeah, I don't even know what was in there.
Creepy. That would have freaked me out. Curiosity would have killed me. You put a big red button, say don't push this button, I'm fucking...
I thought about it a lot.
I would have had to.
But what if it was like a control room? I'm like, okay, I can't masturbate while I'm here for sure. Because you never know, you know?
Yeah.
First thought I walk into a room, I can't masturbate here. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Please don't.
You're like, but I'm in my car.
What are these for? Oh, man. Yeah, any Airbnb, I always have that thought.
Dude,
Just
Airbnb, I'll fucking masturbate as soon as I walk in. Dude.
While I'm walking in.
Yeah.
I'll show you a cleaning fee.
Yeah. Also, what if you're not dirty? You know, what if you're there for 2 days and all you do is sleep and you make the bed? Like, what are you charging me for?
I would like them to clean it still.
I mean,
If I went into the place and they were like, "Oh, the last people were very clean," like we have to clean.
That's part of renting out a space. Like they shouldn't charge you to maintain the space, or like the whole thing about like if you don't make the bed, then they charge you $50. Like that's crazy.
But like, you know, do a little walk around first before you're charging me. You know, like, sure, do the basic stuff that you were going to do to make sure it's prepared for the next person. But I understand a cleaning fee if it's like, I had a wild party or I came on your walls, fine. You know, charge me whatever you want to charge me.
Just a living charge at this point.
I would send them $300 up front. Like, I'm gonna wreck this room.
$300 just so I could come on the walls.
I'm not even staying here.
I just need a place to let loose.
It's kind of my thing.
Your family's at the hotel down the street.
Now I can relax on this vacation.
That's some good walls.
You're just like, I'm gonna go pump gas. I'll be right back.
Could go bump something.
Oh,
Stop doing that. every time, every single time you go,
We have fun.
just hanging out.
Yeah.
Friends being friends.
It's kind of sweet. It's like a little critter when it wakes up in the morning, you know?
Ryan does have a little critter energy. Ryan, you kind of look like one of those critters from the books.
Oh, those. I know what you're talking about.
The little critters.
The little critter.
oh, there's a thing with little critters. I thought you were just like
Just any little critters from any book.
any book that has critters in it.
And there would be like a mouse.
You
in
look
the
like a
background.
marsupial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An old book with just bugs coming out of it.
The hair is the same. The hair.
It's here.
That looks like
Oh,
Ryan.
fucking! I just remembered what it was.
Don't ever wear overalls, dude. It's game over for you.
Oh, that's so funny.
You wish you could be a little critter.
So Sylvia, what was your favorite book as a kid? No, I'm just kidding. So are we talked a little bit after, but I forgot everything that you told me after Chatterbox.
It's okay. I'm very forgettable.
Who's the dumb bitch now? But you're originally from LA, right?
Yeah.
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 Which whereabouts?
I grew up in Torrance. Well, my parents weren't together. So I grew up with my dad and my grandma Monday through Friday in Torrance. And then I went to my mom's on the weekends in Southgate and Huntington Park.
Oh, wow. That's like a reverse divorce.
Yeah. Well, they were never married. My parents are whores.
Well, I just mean like I stayed with my mom and then I had a weekend dad, not a weekend mom. That's very intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did your mom go to church?
Yeah, she did every Sunday. And she would force us to go. I was a monaguillo.
What's that?
A monaguillo, an altar boy.
Oh, really?
Well, person.
An they're called altar person now.
Yeah.
The church is a lot more progressive.
Yeah. I only did it because my mom couldn't force me to sing if I wasn't standing right next to her. And then I could also, there's like this part where you ring a bell and he had like the pastor has this or whatever they're called. It has this big table and you have to like sneak out of the pew from behind him and go to like where his waist is and hide behind the table and ring the bell when you have to ring the bell.
They need a new system. They should not be having kids sneak through between a pastor's legs.
Waist high.
Waist high.
And he's wearing a robe. You don't know what's underneath it. But also, our pastor's, is it a priest? I'm Catholic.
Yeah,
All
it's a
right.
priest.
Okay. Whatever.
Father, priest,
The fella, right?
The heavenly fella.
The head honcho.
We're Episcopal, so that means,
So you only eat fish?
I'm not shit, right? Like I ain't shit. But
Yeah, it's a very Catholic way of describing yourself.
But he could get married.
We ain't shit. That's what the pastor says up top. Just remember, we ain't shit.
So he's like so it's not Catholic? Is it Catholic?
It's Catholic, but it's like a sector of Catholic. It's not
Gotcha.
Roman Catholic that's like adheres to
interesting.
everything. I think the biggest difference is just that the priest can be married and have kids.
Yeah, that's a good change.
Yeah. So he was very nice and not creepy.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe just change the rules, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe let the pastors marry.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not a sin, right? Even if it was, like,
Let him.
just let him.
But that's the thing in a lot of spiritual, like, I listen to Ram Dass a lot, and he's like studied Hinduism and Buddhism and stuff, but even he was like, gave up on like romantic or like personal relationships because it was like, that gets in the way of, like, even Buddhist monks, like they give up their relationships with people because that gets in the way of their like enlightenment or spirituality or their connection to God. So I could see that for like other religions.
That's the point. It's to keep their relationship is with God, not of
Right.
the flesh.
Right.
Yeah, but then they got that pent up energy, you know?
So creepy.
Then they need kids ringing the bells for them.
Yeah, I was ringing his bells. I was ringing them twice.
Wow.
It's very nice. He's a very nice man.
We should tag him.
His father Flavin.
No, yeah, I grew up Catholic. We grew up pretty hardcore Catholic. Like when my dad was still alive, we'd go just help. There was 10 kids in my family, and we would all just go help on the the Spanish masses on Sundays to like pass out the money baskets and stuff like that.
I heard Spanish Mass is playing Coachella this year.
Really?
Stupid joke. Get it out.
And yeah, so we do all that. But later on, I went back for some reason, and I would lecture at masses, the youth mass, and like I would do one of the readings, and apparently I wasn't bad at it, so they ended up like bringing me to a different church because my youth leader went to a different church to be a youth leader, and I was in Monrovia, and he went to Rancho, and they would pick me up to go lecture over there, and I felt like a little like that was my first road gig.
Did you have like one of those like powder blue suits? Like,
no, I just wear what I wore. But I was poor, so I would use like my brother's hand-me-down. So I just looked like a little cholo because I had like oversized button-ups and shit. And I just like oversized clothes. I don't like looking back. I was like, wow, I had no awareness of how poor I was because I was wearing like my older brother's clothes and lecturing. Like,
right.
Hey, fool, you know what?
You know what? We need to get right with God, all right?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Corinthians.
My mom's, we followed our pastor to whatever church he went to.
Uh-huh.
So it started off in Huntington Park, but then he went to this church in Compton, and they had like the English mass before the Spanish mass. And it was like a bunch of like older Black people that went to the English mass. And my mom became really good friends with them. And she was just so into church that she made us go to both churches.
Jesus.
No.
And then my mom just got into like all the church happenings. She would like make like concerts with all the little kids from the Black church. And she would always make them sing the Fighting Temptations songs. Have you ever seen the movie The Fighting Temptations with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Beyonce?
No, wait, what?
Cuba Gooding Jr. and Beyonce.
Josh is furiously Googling.
No, they have a religious movie.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Remember the Titans for a second. I thought it was like Ain't No Valley High. No, like they were just singing Motown.
Yeah, it's like religious music. And what's his name? Montel Williams? No, not
Montel Jordan.
Yes. Wasn't it? He was like a prisoner who came to the church to sing. And my mom would just get all of these little, really cute little Black kids to get dressed up like Beyonce and Cuba Gooding Jr. to sing these songs. And it was...
I'm sure it was very cute.
It was...
I'm trying
it was. But my mom was like, no, she can't be Beyonce because she doesn't look like Beyonce.
Oh, no.
But this one looks like Beyonce. And I'm like, you can't tell them that. They would get really heartbroken when they didn't get to be Beyonce.
Just let them take turns.
Yeah, we used to go to an evangelical church. My dad got saved after my mom left him in Texas.
Someone had to save him.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah. But we started going to an evangelical church, and then there was two that we went to, and one was like literally like 10 people. I think it was like often less than 10 people, and it was in a Marriott hotel. And then it would just be like room to room, like wherever they put us. That one was fun, but it was just like, how are you going to preach that God can help us prosper and there's only 4 people in here every week? Then it's like, I'm just paying this fool's bills.
Did any of them
in
live?
that hotel?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, fuck.
They baptized my father that church. They used the hotel jacuzzi.
They baptized him in the jacuzzi of the Marriott Hotel.
Yeah.
That's kind of sick.
It's always funny to like see the levels of baptism in each religion. Like, you know, like evangelicals will baptize you like as you're older.
Right.
And then like Catholics will baptize you before you can think for yourself.
Right.
And,
dude. They baptized me before my tia's wedding, and I did not know what was going. I didn't even know we were going to a wedding. Like it was just, I mean, when you're a kid, you just wake up and your parents like, we're going. And so it's like, you don't know. I've been to so many weddings as a kid where I was like, I don't even know who these people are. And like, so it was my tia's wedding and they had mass beforehand. And like, I was in like a white suit and I was like feeling good. I was like dancing and shit. And then, but then they're like, okay, we're going to baptize your kids now. And so there was like a line of kids that they had, and they had to like, I didn't know what was going on. There's this old man that I've never seen before, and he's fucking dunking kids in water. So like they had to like pick me up like almost like a straight jacket and like it was like they were giving me like a religious swirly like, and there's a photo of me just screaming my eyes out. I was like, ah! They must have thought my mom was like embarrassed as fuck. They thought I was like possessed by the devil in there. Yeah,
Religious swerves.
yeah.
Praise God, nerd.
Yeah, I couldn't move. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, but then we went to this other church and it was just weird because like they turned it into a talk show. That's where we stopped going. But they just like ended up turning it into like a live stream talk show where they would just like
The church?
yeah, the church like ended up like they would have worship and then they were like, all right, everybody sit down. And like it would be, I mean, looking back on it, it was kind of interesting, but it was just like weird that it was like, okay, give us all your money and then listen to us talk, like paying to be at a daytime talk show.
You're like, welcome to our Twitch stream.
Pretty much. And they would just like, they would have an open discussion about like concepts in the Bible and stuff, which honestly was cool looking back because like there was a couple people there was one dude who was a drummer who like, I could tell that he wasn't like, he didn't believe in this shit. He just like got access to like sick, like equipment.
Yeah.
But he was like, he would go on and talk about how like, he would go talk about physics and science and stuff like, and like apply it to the Bible. It was interesting, but it was just like,
He got the religious swirly.
yeah, he got the religious swirly.
Fibonacci swirly.
I had a allergic reaction to a cat this morning. I'm having trouble breathing right now, but I'm okay. We can keep going.
Okay.
Praise God.
Praise God.
And also with you.
But not with you. At church when you shake hands?
Yeah. It'd be cool to be able to pick and choose who you say it to.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to keep it in here though.
Yeah. Just kind of smile at them from like across, but not really touching them.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I went to a Christian church and they used to always do this thing where they'd be like, shake the hand of your neighbor. Or
Yeah.
like somebody next to you, shake their hand and say like, hello. I hated that
And you're a
shit.
little kid like, ew, no.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna touch this kid. He's weird.
I was at a funeral recently where they did that. And I was with my little brother, and it was like the most autistic moment. I had to like whisper the instructions to him because he didn't understand. He's like, what do we do? He's like, okay, shake my hand. Okay, now turn around and shake that guy's hand and say, what was it? Peace be with you.
Mm.
And then they'll say, and you, and then you just keep going until you've shooken everyone's hand and then you're done. And I had to like, sorry, brain fart. That was pretty much it. I had to like instruct him on how to shake people's hands. He'd never shooken hands before.
It's so awkward and unnatural. It's something you never do anywhere else. You don't just get up and say hello to the people who are sitting next to you.
I mean,
anywhere.
I kind of think it's a cool practice.
Like they should do it at the movies.
Yeah. Instead of clapping for the fucking director that's not there.
You just shake
Everyone stand up and
everybody's
say
hand.
hello to the people next to you.
Thanks for being here.
Whatever the tagline of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
It's okay,
Full
Andrew.
throttle.
You go to movies where people clap at the end?
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
never been to
it's-
a full theater where people clap at the end?
Nah.
The most obvious one would be like a premiere day of like a Marvel movie or something.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
there,
yeah, I'm
there's
not
some
going to any
movies
of
that people did that when I saw The Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby.
Yeah, which I couldn't understand because not only was it not the best version, but like I was a shitty theater. We could barely see the movie. It's like, what are you clapping for?
I liked the movie.
They were trying to
but-
turn the lights on.
Yeah. Clapping at the end of the movie is weird to me.
Like the Easter eggs, probably the things that people are excited to see. They get into the whole
That's more
Lord,
like
it-
in cheering, and they'd be like, "Yes, there's more. I get that, and I'm okay with that." But at the end of the movie, be like, "That was great."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what I mean when the credits are
Go
rolling.
home.
That happened at Iron Claw.
My compliments to the chef.
He's not here.
The projectionist is in the room like,
did it. That's a
We nailed
successful
it,
show,
guys.
And that's when you jump.
We clapped at the end of Twilight. All of us, all the Twilight bitches, were clapping at the end of every Twilight. I think it was mostly just like, yeah, they got him to be shirtless for 80% of this movie. Fuck yeah.
That's a 12% increase.
I have like a funny relationship with the Twilight Saga because in middle school I didn't understand the concept of romance novels. I just thought it was like a book about vampires. I was like, hell yeah. So I was not the only one. Me and a group of friends were like, yeah, we're gonna see this vampire movie. It's gonna be dope. And when I had my mom bring me and my friends to Twilight, and then we watch it and we're like, the fuck is this? But the thing is, then my mom fell in love with the books, so we ended up seeing every single movie.
and she just thought you guys liked it.
She's like, I'm bonding with my sons.
But I remember seeing the last one, and it was my mom, all her friends, my Thea, Mary, and the reaction was crazy. They didn't clap, but they were like arguing with the screen. That scene, spoiler if you haven't read that book, where those two dudes are running at each other. I forget their names, but
vampires.
the bad guy
The
and the dad.
Volturi. I'm on this shit. I'm on it.
Do you want to set the scene?
No, just keep going.
It's a wide snowy plain. No. But the bad guy's running at the dad, and they jump at each other, and they land, and then the evil guy holds up the dad's head, and he's making the stupidest face like he just farted. It was really funny. He was
He's like,
He's
But
like,
wait,
wait,
I
what?
remember-
Reliving it.
I think about it every day.
I remember my aunt stood up and she's like, "You son of a bitch!" Everyone was arguing, going and I was laughing the whole time. I couldn't believe they said that. That was funny. People went hard for Twilight.
Hell yeah, we still do.
What about your dad? Was your dad religious?
Yeah. He went to church every Saturday. I don't know why they would go on Saturdays, but they
Is he
would go
Jehovah's
Saturdays
Witness?
no, they were Catholic too, but I think my dad was Roman Catholic, or he'd go to Roman Catholic church and he would take my grandma. So it's like I couldn't escape. If I was staying from my mom's house to my dad's house on a weekend, I was still going to church regardless. I'm like, it's
Were
a
you
catch
bought in,
22.
or were you like, did you immediately were like, I'm not into this?
I just went because they made me, and then I hung out with I was very like God. I was like, yeah, God, and then that's a sin. And I kind of believed it because I was forced to believe it for so long. And I was a very emotional child. Like my family, nobody liked me. Nobody could stand me because I would cry for everything. I mean, to this day, but
Crying right now.
no, seriously, nobody liked me. My parents could barely stand me. The only one that could like tolerate me was my grandma. So I spent a lot of time with her, but because I was like so sheltered, I would just like do whatever my dad told me to do because he scared the shit out of me. So I was terrified, and I'd always be like I was a very like, drugs are bad. I would never. Like I was always really angry about it when people were like, oh yeah, they smoked weed. I'm like, he's a fucking sinner. Like I was so mad. When I was like
Not Michael Phelps.
yeah, I was really pissed. I was so passionate about it. And then one time I decided to hang out with my uncle who was like a cholo and his girlfriend. And then he just started telling me about like prison and the Bible. And he's like, dude, the fucking system is fucking stupid. Like you have to get it. The God doesn't exist. And I was like, is it possible that God doesn't exist? And then he just started telling me about like criminal things that he did, and I was traumatized, and I was scared of cholos for a really long time. Like I was like, oh, they're gonna fucking kill me. I've had reoccurring dreams about cholos trying to kill me for such a long time. Now they're cool.
Instead of Pennywise, it's fucking little mystery. Outside with a knife. I'm sorry, did I do like
No. I just
Just imagine
She
that.
starts crying.
I start having a mental breakdown. I'm reliving it. Yeah, but after I talked to him, I was just like, hey, I guess I can think for myself. And I just started like being like, God's not real.
I remember I
The window sign, like the window sign goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember wanting I realize now that I just wanted to connect with my dad because we only saw him like
That's really
once a
sweet.
week. And so I was like, I wanted to believe in God, but the whole time I'm like, this just doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
Like this doesn't make sense. Like I've talked about this before, but I just remember there used to be a thing in church, and in multiple churches said this, and I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Where they were like, in heaven, you could play with the tiger as if it were a kitten because it's like so beautiful and safe. And different churches said this. I don't know if they all have like, you know how like in sitcoms in the 90s, there was always a pregnant elevator episode. I don't know if they were sharing scripts or something, but like sharing scriptures. Oh, anyway, but they said this, and then like, but then they would also say like humans are the only ones with souls. Animals don't have souls. So then I was like 7, like, how the fuck are you gonna play with a tiger if it doesn't have a soul?
How would it get there?
How would it get there?
It's just someone
Damn.
cosplaying as a tiger in heaven.
There's furries in heaven.
Furries getting to heaven.
Hey,
Sounds
Hashtag,
like heaven to me.
hashtag all furries go to heaven.
hashtag Therian King or whatever.
Fuck you. No, don't start that.
I think I never bought into the Bible. That was like my whole qualm the entire time. Cause I was like, it's a book. Like, it's just a book. Like I read Twilight.
Yeah, a bunch of vampires in this one.
Yeah, like I'm not going around telling everyone like, no, he's incredibly fast and so strong.
That's very funny.
I'm like, I could see there's something being like bigger than us. Like, okay, some kind of cosmic shit. Fine, we'll call it God. But like the book, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just a book.
Yeah, that was my issue with it for a long time. I was like, you're telling me the creator of everything and all of the whole world wants me to read
Yeah.
this dense-ass book to get his message across? I don't think so.
If he's so good at everything, why is this book mid?
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need this many sequels to prove a point.
Yeah. And most people couldn't read, throughout history.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of a way to keep people from knowing their religion.
Yeah. And there's been so many versions of it too, where I'm just like, well, what got lost?
A lot.
What aren't they telling us?
A lot. You know that the original Psalms were songs that people would sing to each other?
Yeah.
I did not know that until recently. Pretty trippy.
Yeah, they were poems. I remember we had to remember. I don't have any memorized, but we had to do that for Sunday school. Was memorize different psalms.
Yeah. What if God was one of us?
Blee, blue, blee, blee.
Just a stranger on a bus.
Just as a little note, turns out Saturday Vigil is what it's called, I guess. Is just so that you can get out of going to church on Sunday, dude. You can go and fulfill your obligation.
Oh yeah, because you only need one day a
Originally,
week.
I think they were used to get ready for Easter, preparation for the feast. But now I think you go to Saturday Vigil so you can catch the game on Sunday.
Isn't it crazy that there's like towns in America to this day that everything is closed on Sunday because it's like a religious day, like legitimately closed.
Yeah.
You can't buy alcohol or anything.
Yeah, I was actually just learning about a beach city in the East Coast that's completely dry, and they have it's been like that since Prohibition.
Shit.
Ventura's like that. I
Is
was
it?
up in Ventura. I don't know if it was Ventura specifically, but everything closes at like 7:00. They can't sell alcohol like an hour before closing. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah, but the alcohol in this place is banned.
Oh,
like you
shit,
can't
yeah.
have
Oh,
alcohol
wow.
at all.
Yeah.
It's like very dry. Everything's illegal.
But you can have meth. Oh no, everything is
everything's-
illegal.
everything's
I think.
Isn't it
that's what
funny how
people-
you could name any city in the country and somebody will be like, "Did you know that's the meth capital of the world?"
Yeah, that's so funny.
I think that's why people from like really random places, especially like in the United States, They're from like buttfuck Ohio that no one has ever heard about. Like, what else is there to do? Of course, you're gonna have talent. All you have is time to develop your skills. Like, there's not much going on out there. Of course, you're gonna have some fucking something. You're either gonna like be fucked up on drugs, or you know, watching kiddies do random shit, or play the guitar really good.
And multiple things could be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be a loser and talented.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, they could also just be wholesome. Like, I'm just talking, you know, shit.
They also just be nice people we don't make fun of.
Have you felt, so we talk about this obviously a lot on the podcast, but like how closely do you identify with like your Latin identity, or do you think about that at all? Does that inform your comedy at all, do you think? Or do you just like, is it a part of you that you kind of like have but don't pay attention to?
I think about it a lot.
Really?
A lot. I think it's because I look white, and I get that all the time, that I feel like I'm like more obligated to like be like, no, I'm Hispanic. We're all different colors. And like, I don't know. I hate that assumption, because my grandma raised me and she grew up on a ranch. Like, she was illiterate. She never learned how to read or write. So like she never learned English. She came here in the 70s. So my first language was Spanish.
Oh, wow.
I didn't start learning English until I started watching like fucking the Teletubbies and shit. And I was like,
I'm just imagining you at like 8 just talking like the narrator, because she's the only one that speaks. Grandma, I'd like some cereal.
she wouldn't know what I was saying if I said it.
Were you paying attention? Right?
But like, I was like the narc at my school for my teachers, because my teachers were white. So they would use me as like to like get all the little Mexican kids' parents to know what was happening in class. So whenever the teacher would like need to talk to the parents, it'd be like, I need you to tell them that they're not doing their homework. And then I'd like translate for them. And I was a teacher's pet because they would just use me for that reason.
They turned you into the foreman.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, just
It's
growing
like
up
those
in
like,
those cities.
you know how like Border Patrol is mostly Hispanics?
Yeah.
Damn. Selling out your people at age 6.
Yeah.
Did everyone like, well, you already said nobody likes you.
Nobody liked me. I'm not kidding. Nobody liked me. No one wanted to kick it. So, yeah. Now I'm like, no, I hablo, you know.
How was recess?
It fucking sucked. I wasn't invited.
Not invited to recess is wild.
Yeah, I would like, I never got benched because I didn't do bad stuff, but I just hung out on the bench.
Because those kids had to stay there.
Yeah, that was like their detention. I was either doing that or helping the teacher prepare for the next thing that we were going to do in class. Fun.
So how do you break out of that? When do you think the change started to happen?
Probably middle school, because I spent so much time by myself. I had to get creative because people wouldn't fucking talk to me. And I'm not saying like just regular, like my cousins couldn't stand me, my brother, my sister, everyone hated me. Legitimately fucking could not stand me. So I spent a lot of time either like reading books or watching TV, or like coming up with like a little random shit in my head. And if anyone gave me the time of day, I would not shut the fuck up because I had so much pent up shit that I wanted to say out loud. And I think probably like in middle school, I started watching a lot of Comedy Central, and my brother made me watch like a lot of Comedy Central with him. That was the only time we would bond, because I would shut up and watch. We would watch like Jeff Dunham and fucking George Lopez and shit. And I started watching Comedy Central like late at night. I'd stay up till like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then I was like, oh, if you're like not serious, people like you more. Just
if you're not a snitch.
Exactly. I was like, if I laugh at myself first, then people are going to get with that. So then like towards the end of middle school and high school, I was just like, I'm dumb.
Notoriously dumb bitch.
Exactly. And then I'd be like, you fuck, yeah, you are, dude. Let's kick it.
Yeah, she gets it. So you see it too.
And now I have friends.
They're a little mean, but it's fun.
I learned you don't take it seriously. I just cry alone. How often do you guys cry? Be honest.
Yesterday?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I almost cried during Dungeons and Dragons last night.
Got a good character development.
Yeah, it was. So I played this guy that his soul got transferred to a teddy bear. So I'm playing a teddy bear.
But me.
Yeah, Ryan. Playing Ryan. It was weird. I wasn't expecting it, but I was playing this moment where it was like he fucking lost his whole family. He's trapped in this fucking bear's body and he doesn't know who he is or what happened to him. And he's like trying to learn about it. And he's realizing he doesn't have any memories. And like, I was like talking to another character in character about like, he was keeping a journal of everything that happened. And it was like a moment where my character was like, oh, maybe I should start keeping a journal and maybe I'll remember who I am. And I almost started crying in that moment.
Oh.
Is it because you tried to hold the pen with your stuffed
Yeah,
animal hand and it fell?
He has no fingers.
He doesn't have any dexterity.
That sounds
I mean,
like
I have a
Brother
dexterity score of 13, so not bad.
It sounds
That's
like
a
what?
D&D joke for you guys.
Brother Bear.
Brother Bear?
Brother Bear? Oh.
Brother Bear? We snuck into that.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yep, that's it.
You were going to say something, right, Ricky?
Yeah, Ricky.
Oh,
was-
no, yeah. I've cried, I go to therapy, No, yeah, I've cried about there's a point where like, I don't know, you probably identify a little bit with it. Like we grew up a lot of like trauma. It seems like you there's a point where you're like, you probably cried a lot because I was a cry baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got older and I was like, I just stopped crying after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I moved out and had space,
Mm-hmm.
like I just started crying a bunch again. Like to feel everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like outing myself.
No. I feel like that's a very common thing for a lot of people. I never stopped crying.
Yeah.
I cry a lot.
It's my favorite thing.
No, honestly. Okay, wait. I really want to. Okay. I fucking love crying. I love it. I will make myself cry for fun.
What?
Yeah. But hear me out. Okay.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes. I'll start crying if I do it too long. I really I don't like to celebrate my birthday. It's just like a thing that I have. I've always had shitty birthdays, but if I did, I would want to have a crying party where people came like queued up with like the thing that makes them cry the most, like a video or a movie, and just watch the part that's like that fucks you up. I think it's such a great release. Like sometimes I'm just driving and I can make myself cry on command. But the thing that makes me cry on command is I think like, oh, my grandma's dead. That's my first thought. She's alive. She's a beautiful woman. But I'm like, my grandma's dead. And then I'll break out into tears. It's like listening to Amor Eterno, Like immediately you're like, fuck, that's about my grandma. And the minute I'm done crying, I'm like, whoo. Like, oh, thank God.
So for your birthday, you're like, it's my party. I'll cry if I want to.
Exactly. But I want everyone to cry too.
It's my birthday. You cry if I want to.
Now watch this scene from The Fox and the Hound.
Oh, woof.
I think that it would be a funny thing to happen because some stuff that like makes me sad, I don't think like there's like random things that'll make me sad, like what he was talking about, the dumb teddy bear thing. It's like no one's gonna cry at that except you because you had a moment where you felt a connection to that thing. You know what I mean? So like I can imagine inviting a bunch of people like bring the saddest thing that you know, and then it's like a bunch of random stuff. You're like, this is what makes you sad, and they're bawling.
Okay, what's the most ridiculous like movie scene that you've cried to?
Now,
Do
you mean like the most like
This shouldn't be making me cry.
like traumatizing, or the most like simple thing that made you like it shouldn't but it did?
Just answer the question.
I want to know what I'm answering. Clarify. The question.
It could be anything. What's something like I would say not a dramatic movie. I'll go first.
I was gonna say I can give an example because I'm off camera if you like. I wipe my own ass.
I was about to say that. That is the line that I was gonna say. I wipe my own ass.
One of the saddest movie scenes there is. While also being a not very sad line.
Yeah, literally sure. that was the example that I was gonna give. It was like I cry to that shit every fucking time. Either Cole Sprouts, I wipe my own ass. That's fucking sad, dude.
It's a sad line.
Yeah.
That's a really good example. I cry when I see other people get choked up and not cry. Like I feel I'm overly empathetic to the point where like I feel people's energy. And if I see people saying something that's hard, like that's just kind of sad, but they seem like they're adjusted or they don't want to cry about it, I'm like, fuck. And I feel a knot in my throat immediately and I'll just cry and I'm like, this is for you.
I have that same thing, but for like mom tears, dad tears, grandma tears.
Oh yeah. When you see your parents cry, that's
tears.
Yeah. Tears and tears.
Tears and tears.
I heard they were playing Coachella.
I don't like that joke. Ricky, do you have a movie? Hardball when G Baby dies. Sheesh. I mean, that was like legitimately sad.
Like a serious movie, right?
It's a little embarrassing. It's not that embarrassing, but it's a little embarrassing because like it's a not even that deep. But you know, Good Will Hunting.
I fucking love Good Will Hunting.
It's not your fault.
It's just not. That's it. It's not your fault. And it's like yeah. And no, he's like, no, it's not your fault. He's like, all right, man. It's not your fault. All right, dude. Don't do this to me, man. And then he just breaks down.
Ricky's just flipping over the table. Like, it's a good movie.
I think I cry a lot too at the inspirational movies, at like moments at the end of the movies. Like when Ben Affleck comes to the door and he's not there and he kind of smiles like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he did it.
He's not a little bitch.
Yeah.
Stuff with parents for sure
stuff.
gets me, especially like stuff with like dad stuff. Like I forgot what movie. It's always like dad stuff. Whenever there's like a dad struggling with his kids, I'm always like, fuck. I don't have an example. There's a movie called Beautiful with, what's his name? Javier Bardem, where he's like has cancer and he's like trying to support his kids.
And even less serious, there's like sitcom moments where like the dad will like they'll have like a touching moment with the son or like something you don't get that often, and that stuff will get me too.
There was one that I was surprised I cried at. I think it was Logan. Is that like standalone Wolverine movie?
Yeah.
Right.
Where he like somehow has a Latina daughter that's a little Wolverine. And then like they're like fucking her up, and then he like helps save her and shit like that. And I just started crying. I was like, oh, I wanted a dad to protect me.
I love that so much.
You wanted a roided out Australian just yelling through the forest.
Did you see Onward?
I think
that Pixar movie about like it's like it's like based in like a modern fantasy, but it's like two brothers. One of the brothers is like he's the main character, and he's like on a quest to like find his dad. His dad sent him a message or something, so he has to like learn how to do magic and shit. But the whole movie, my friend Art was like, yo, you got to watch this movie. It's great. Like, it's so funny. And like, I'm watching it, and it's just about it's two brothers, and they're trying to reconnect with their dad. And by the end of it, I was like trying to like not sob. And he's like, what do you think? I'm like, it's such a good movie. It's so good. Thanks for showing it to me.
I love when like someone like describes a plot pretty simply, and it just makes me think of Rick and Morty. Two brothers and a dad.
Yeah, that's why I liked Iron Claw, because it's four brothers. Like, it's just like anything with brothers, anything with dads, parents. That shit gets me, dude. Have you ever had? I've been getting this thing happens to me, and I Google it, and I can't find out and if this happens to anyone else. I don't know if this gets weird. It might be something trigger warning with eating disorders. I don't see it as a eating thing, but there'll be times where like I'll eat I'll just like satiate my hunger. I don't eat like a crazy amount, but like I'll eat, and then I'll just like want to start crying just from like finishing a meal.
Well, you eat like week-old pizza, so that might be it.
Are you sad because the food is gone?
I mean, I for sure have had that feeling.
It's like just like all relationships come to an end.
I've definitely gone for another nugget, and there have been none left.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Not like
I
this.
didn't know what I had until it was too late.
there should have been 11.
There was time now.
There was time now.
It's not fair.
Or do you think it was like that moment was feeling some type of like emotional thing, and now that you can't distract yourself with the food, now you're feeling an emotion?
I literally don't know what it is. It's just it's also the thing is like if I'm like I think it's a thing where if I'm very hungry and then I eat a good meal, that I think that's what it is. Like for something about like fulfilling that need of just like being very hungry and then eating, I'll like want to start crying.
What if you're just thankful?
Yeah.
Like, wow, my needs were met. I have what I needed. You know, what a beautiful day.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe maybe that's how I should look at it.
Imagine you're just allergic to whatever you're eating.
Damn.
His eyes are like swollen shut.
I don't know why I always cry when I eat peanut butter.
His hands are swollen, his mouth's swollen. He's like, no, I'm crying.
I'm grateful.
It's like the exact opposite of it's just allergies.
I'm so sad.
Are you guys allergic to anything?
I'm
I'm
not.
No.
I'm like the only one in my four brothers and my parents that is not allergic to anything.
I'm allergic to cats, but I'm not eating those.
Not anymore.
Not that you know of.
Too bad they're delicious.
Alf.
No, not specifically. You know, just the regular lactose intolerance, but that's not that serious.
I
You
don't
gotta
know.
get on that raw cheese game, dude.
Mm.
Ugh.
What's raw cheese?
Unpasteurized cheese has enzymes to make it easier to digest cheese.
Never heard of that.
Look it up.
I believe you.
Don't do that.
Are you allergic to
I
anything?
didn't do it.
Made a weird banana noise.
I'm kind of allergic to cats, but it's my own fault. I like if I can pick up a cat and touch a cat, I'm gonna like rub my face in it.
What are you doing?
And then like for the rest of the day, I'm like just like hairs up my nose and
Right.
shit.
I don't think that's allergies.
Yeah,
Like
that's
dust. I don't know.
Dander.
Yeah. That type of stuff will get me a little congested, but nothing too wild.
Shoving cat hair in my nose.
Yeah. It's the balls. It's when the balls get in there. I think that makes me.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite crying stories? Did you have like a good like
Crying
like an
stories.
unexpected cry after?
Something unexpected.
Yeah, actually, I worked with seniors as an activities person.
Uh-huh.
So I'd like go in and play bingo with them, and I got really close to a lot of them. They were fucking cute. The wild ones that were kind of my favorite, like the grumpy ones, because like if you can break them and get them to love you, it's like the best fucking achievement. Because they're like, I fucking hate everyone, but you're cool. And I'm like, yes, yes, Margaret, fuck those people. But there was this one lady who was like, she was a bitch. She hated everybody. And we had this one like activity that we would do where I would read to them like different scenarios and just get their perspective on it. And I came up with like my own, because we had an activity book, but I wanted to see like how far I could push it. There was like no supervision from anyone else. So I'm like, I'm gonna just get spicy with it. Let's see what happens. And the prompt that I came up with was like, what if you one day found out, you know, your child was gay? And it's because a lot of people of, you know, older times, to them, it's still very like strange for them to talk about.
Right.
And of course, like a lot of them were really religious, and they were just saying like, you know, I'd be okay with it. It would just make me so sad because of, you know, God and all that stuff. And the one lady that was like kind of a bitch, she was quiet for the most part, but she was like really listening. she forgot things very, very quickly. So she would write stuff down in her like walker. She had her notebook in there. And she kind of didn't really participate in that discussion, but she was really listening to people. And then she's like, when the activity was over, she's like, can you walk me to my room? And I was like, sure. And I walked to her room. She's like, I just wanted to say, I really appreciate you having that discussion with us about the gay children. And I was like, oh, thanks. And she was like, my daughter came out to me and now she's married and her wife live like in Northern California and they're very happy. And I had a problem with it for a very long time, but now she comes and visits me and takes care of me. And her wife is a wonderful person. And I don't know how to talk to people about that. And it's always made me very sad, but you made me feel like it was okay. And I appreciate you for that. And I was like, oh my God. And I started crying. And then she started crying and she was like, you're a nice lady. I had known her for like a year. She still didn't know my name, but she knew I was a nice lady. And I was like, fuck. And then I had to just like pretend that didn't happen. And I think about that a lot.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I have like a weird relationship with like things that make me cry. Like I don't have any specific movies.
Mm-hmm.
There are moments that I've cried at, you know what I mean? Like one memory I have is like Braveheart was like the only movie I've ever seen my dad cry. And that made me cry. It was like, oh,
He's
my
like,
hero's crying.
I love it when
I
dads
always-
cry.
I always wanted to wear a kilt.
But it's, you know, it's the final scene. It was like freedom. That long like yelled and then it's silent. That got to me. Well, that got to him and then that got to me. But I have a weird like there will be shows that I avoid the episodes that make me cry because it's like too much for me. Because movies for me are a different experience. Shows are a thing I watch for comfort specifically. And I run into this effect when I'm binging all my shows at the same time where I'll run into the sad episodes on the same day. So I can't watch any of my shows.
Yeah.
Like I'll be watching, I don't know if you know Doctor Who.
I know of it, but I've never
not
seen
a lot
it.
of people. There's an episode where stupid. I caught that. There was a specific episode where his assistants of that season die. Amy and Rory. Anyone who watches Doctor Who knows the episode I'm talking about. So like one day I land on that episode. I'm like, fuck, I can't watch this episode. So I switch over to like Bones, and it's the episode where Sweets dies. So I switch over to Futurama, and it's the episode where they find Seymour Butts, and it's like, fuck, I can't watch anything.
Is that the dog episode?
Yeah, the dog episode.
Jurassic
Jurassic Park.
Saddest episode of Futurama.
It really is.
Another-
They did correct it in the final season. They gave him a happy ending after all. Whoa,
Boo.
not like that.
These last moments will be special.
Closes his eyes slowly. He's just out of it, dog.
You should have binged them all. Had a crying day. What a relief.
There are the other thing is like I have two separate playlists. One of them is songs that make me cry, and then I do that on purpose. And another one is just sad songs that I enjoy, and it weirds other people out because it's like a whole like 10-minute playlist of just like Adele and like and like Creep by Radio, like just the saddest songs I can think of. But I'm just listening to them like comfortably.
Yeah.
Like I think we have a story like that, right? I had gotten home early and Dominic didn't know I was home. I'm in the living room and his door is like right there, and I'm just blasting Adele. And I think we were waiting on new furniture, so we didn't have a couch. So I'm laying in the middle of the living room with my phone on my chest at full volume, just like, what was the song? It was the one. I forget the name, but it's the one where she shows up to her ex's wedding, and it's like
Someone Like You, isn't it the first?
Someone Like You, I think so. And Dominic walks out. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I look up. I'm like, "Yeah, why?"
I think Spanish music, Spanish sad songs hit me so much fucking harder. Like I said earlier, like Amor Eterno. You just have to hear like the opening little violin and I'm like, God fucking damn it. But like my grandma's favorite songs, like fucking Pedro Infante and shit, I'll just sit there and cry. Sometimes if I'm having like a really stressful day, I'll put on a sad song before I get anywhere. Also, do you guys ever practice what you would say at anybody's funeral?
No, I haven't. I haven't thought about that, but it's that's something I think about because it's like I haven't lost anyone close to me yet in my life.
Whenever I'm really mad at somebody that I love, I
I wish
try
they
to
were
ima-
dead.
I imagine what I would say at their funeral to make me feel better. Not just feel better like, yeah, fuck them, they're dead in this scenario, but like if they were to die, that would make me really
Right.
sad.
Yeah.
So maybe this isn't as a big of a deal as I'm making it
Yeah.
out to be. Like I do that with my sister a lot. I'm like, she'll call me with some bullshit. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. And then I'm like, okay, if Natalie were dead, what would I say? And then I'm like, she had a big heart.
Time to gaslight myself.
There's a
That's what killed her.
there's a type of meditation that's like that. I forgot what it is, but essentially it's like you try to put yourself in the position of a different person, and you just like think about what it's like to have grown up the way that they have, and to like think about any struggles that they might have had, and like their love and the connections and stuff you have with them. That's actually really interesting. I haven't heard of anybody putting that, like thinking about what you would say at their funeral, but that is super, I feel like that's super useful, because it's like a lot of stuff is like, you're not going to remember all of the fucking fights and little bullshit that you had with somebody.
I was imagining like each monologue is related to that thing that upset you and
No.
like she may steal my snacks all the time, but she was a real one.
She was a real one to be a hilarious thing to say.
She was a real one. So how does your identity like inform your comedy?
My identity inform my comedy. I don't know. I think I talk about a lot of things that make me sad when I'm on stage, but I just kind of flip it on its head and act like it's stuff that doesn't make me sad at all, and I put it on everyone else. Like, you know, I talk about being fat a lot, and it took me a really long time to get to a point where I accepted that I'm a fat person, and people have, you know, these ideas about what a fat person is. So I play into that, and people love it because those are their deep, dark thoughts. And it took me a long time to not let that hurt me anymore. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make some money off of this shit. Like laughter makes me feel good. So I'm gonna make all those things that you would think make me feel bad, make me feel good, because you're gonna laugh with me, you know?
Right.
So I think that's a part of it. Being Hispanic also. I talk about that sometimes too. It informs it because, you know, people assume I'm white a lot. So I can kind of get away with some shit. And I also can see, not from a white person's perspective, but from somebody who people don't think is Hispanic, and all the shit that they talk and the stuff that they do in front of me, not knowing that I completely, you know, like we're on the same page. It's kind of nice because I can be like undercover about shit, you know, and then I can hear what they think about me without them knowing. Like, Hispanic people are fucking judgmental. Like, we're assholes. Like, they'll just start calling you like a fat white piece of shit, and you're like, I'm here to buy tacos. Like, we all just like, I don't know, fucking get along. Like, but yeah,
you
I talk
heard it
about
here
all that stuff.
first, folks. Can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
That's all we want.
Hell yeah.
See the good in all things.
Walmart's speaking hard right now.
That's right.
Do you ever have like a particularly like public moment that you've used for comedy?
Public moment?
Like a complete stranger, you know, commented. I don't know. I was thinking about this a lot lately because I honestly had tried to write more fat jokes. My mom doesn't like it. But like they were talking about roller coasters before the podcast, and I had this funny story. I think it was last year or the year before, where we went to Universal for Dominic's birthday, and we went to Harry Potter Land, and we were about to get on that ride, and the lady with the at the ticket booth sees me, and she was very chill about it. She was very calm, honestly, very polite, but that's what made it so funny.
Yeah.
They have these tester seats outside by the ramp. And she was like, real quick, we just want to make sure everybody knows how to lock the thing into place, make sure they're comfortable. So we'll go around in a line. And then she starts with me. And
no, she starts with me and Diego. She was like,
that's right,
do you
that's
guys want
right.
to check to make sure that you guys can, like, you can lock it? And then Diego, and then we were, yeah, we go and we do it. And then Ryan was like, okay, I'm not getting on this fucking ride.
I like kind of said it. I'm like, I'm not going to. And I was like very thankful, but I still had nowhere else to go. So she's like, you can just wait in the waiting area. A lot of people are in there. I go in, it's just like 3 moms and a bunch of children watching the old movie.
Just a bunch of fat people.
That would have been better.
Just a bunch of Hagrids.
They can't go because they're too young. I can't go because I can't fit. Like, it's a different experience.
I had this really funny situation happen. It was my sister's birthday and we were in Las Vegas and we walked in. She wanted to go skydiving, indoor skydiving. And so we went and they had a scale there. My sister's the smallest person in our family. So she goes in there and she's over the weight limit. And we all just had to shuffle out of this place. Sad. The whole family walked in and everybody's like,
I don't feel like I've gotten a lot of public like shit at me as an adult, just like, you know, the random comment here and there. Nothing that sticks out too much in my mind. I think because I've always been big, I've like built up like a tolerance to it, and now I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm fucking big. Like, why is that so like weird to people? You know, like we all see it.
That's what it's like, because I've had like a few different experiences. They're all different, but they were all specifically because I was fat. But in a sense, that had nothing to do with me. Like the simplest example, one time I was walking to the train station from the Chatterbox mic, and a dude just yelled fat ass and threw a soda at my head.
What?
Yeah. And he
so
missed.
mean.
And
How
just
tight
like,
would have been if you caught it and started drinking it?
Actually, tell it like that.
Thanks, jackass.
Next time, don't get diet, motherfucker.
don't do it.
Silvia, thank you so much for being here. It was a real pleasure. I'm glad we got to know you
Thank you.
more. We haven't had that much time to talk, like after shows and stuff. So I've always thought you were so funny ever since all the times that I've seen you.
Thanks, buddy. You guys are really funny too. I'm so happy that you invited me here. I got really excited. I'm like, oh my god, like me. I'm still like, honestly, I'm like, you guys want to kick
Oh,
really fucked up, you guys.
So great, so funny, a joy. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have you back. Is there anything you want to plug?
I don't have shit going on.
Where can people find you online?
Oh, my Instagram is Silvia De Anda 17.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay, I will say something.
Okay.
I'm currently unemployed. I have a part-time job, but it's like I would need a daytime job. And I recently made my Instagram public because a lot of comics have told me that you got to like, you know, get around and shit. And I'm a vulgar person, right? I say things that are off color. If any employers at any point are watching anything of mine, please know I can be professional if you need me to. I can tone it way down. I'm punctual. And I'm really nice, man.
Gotta clip that.
So hit me up.
Let's kick it.
We'll drop your
You'll have your
LinkedIn at the
CVA.
bottom.
So funny.
That's it.
Oh my god, what a way to end. Ryan, get us the fuck out of here.
Oh, we talked a lot about crying in this episode. What's a movie that makes you cry? And from us, Edwin Poquito, don't fly.